People with neck pain get diagnosed with having a cervical disc herniation or degenerative disc disease all the time. But after that diagnosis, not enough time is really spent telling those patients why they are experiencing numbness or weakness in their arms and hands. And more importantly, very little is done to explain how that numbness might not even be coming from their neck. That's why today we're going to talk about what actually causes your symptoms, why your MRI might be clear and yet you're still experiencing numbness in your hands, and then we're also going to be going over what is that cause of the problem if it's not stemming from your neck. Additionally, we're going to be going over 3 different corrections that you can use today to help alleviate that numbness in your hands, whether it's occurring while you're at your workstation or if it's waking you up while you're asleep. If you've had a cervical disc herniation diagnosis, or your doctor's told you that you have degenerative disc disease, then more than likely you understand that those discs, or the bone spurs caused from your arthritis, are what is mechanically compressing your nerve. You can think of this like water through a hose. If you start to pinch off a point in the hose, then the amount of water that comes out the other side is lessened. Or if you completely pinch off that hose, nothing comes through. When we apply this to a nerve, think of it this way. When you slightly start to pinch off a nerve, you get a distorted signal, and then that'll result in something like pins and needles. But if you completely pinch off that nerve to the point where no signal can go through, the arm feels numb. And if it is the case that you're experiencing numbness in your hands and arms from a disc bulge or even stenosis, what you should be able to do is our first corrective, which is chin retractions. And how to correctly perform chin retractions is by pulling your chin back like you're trying to make a double chin, sitting up nice and tall, and pulling your head upwards almost as if you're a puppet on a string to elongate that spine. Because whenever we pull our chin back and make our neck long, we are reducing the pressure on the facet joints in the back of your neck, and we are also applying a negative pressure which will help pull a bulging or herniated disc back into the annulus fibrosus, the little rough fibers that hold everything together. Not only that, but we'll also be strengthening your deep cervical flexors, which can help alleviate a lot of pressure, which contributes to nerve irritation when experiencing numbness. With that in mind, if the cervical chin retractions or any of the exercises during this video seem to help your symptoms, go down into the description and get your free gift. It is the first module to the cervical disc recovery blueprint, where I review what can cause cervical disc herniations, how those tend to put pressure on nerves, why you're experiencing those symptoms, but more importantly, we have 3 additional tips and tricks that can help alleviate a lot of your symptoms in managing your own steps to recovery, whether that's from a disc bulge, herniation, or degenerative disc disease. Now let's get back into the video. This might bring you to the point where you're saying, but Dr. Beck, my MRI is clear. There aren't any signs of arthritis or prominent disc herniations that should be putting pressure on my nerves. I don't know why my hands are going numb. And this brings us back to point number 1, which is what is actually causing your symptoms. Because if the suspected culprit is coming from your neck, but your MRI is completely fine, then we're probably not looking at mechanical pressure. It probably has nothing to do with a disc bulge, and we're actually looking at chemical irritants stemming from trigger points. More often than not, people refer to trigger points as muscle knots, and what these muscle knots actually are these tiny little pools of lactic acid that build up in the muscle tissue and can cause nerve irritation. As a consequence, while you might not have a bulge in your neck, you'll still be experiencing numbness in your arms and upper extremities from trigger points in your upper traps, your SCM muscles, your levator scapula, or muscles lower down into your mid-back. Why this is critical, especially in cases where your MRI does not match your symptoms, is because it doesn't make any sense to have surgery to correct a disc bulge when symptoms are just coming from trigger points, which can be handled by a massage therapist, physical therapist, or chiropractor without the need to get cut open. But then what can you do to correct these trigger points in your mid-back and your lower cervical spine? Wall angels and Ys are 2 of the most straightforward exercises that you can perform right now, but they're also going to be one of the most physically challenging exercises for most people. And you're going to find out why right now. what I want you to do is stand with your heels, butt, and shoulders against the wall. Pull your chin back like we're doing that chin retraction from earlier in the video. Then, bring your elbows up to about shoulder height and rotate back, sort of like you're making yourself into a cactus or a field goal post. And hold this position for 6 seconds. And as you hold that position, you should be feeling tension from the base of your neck out to your shoulders and then down between your shoulder blades, because we are engaging your entire trapezius muscle, the muscles that shrug, retract, and depress your shoulder blades. And they typically end up causing people problems because of working at a computer chair or driving to work. They start to get weak, they get overstretched, and then over time they develop a lot of lactic acid, which then increases the likelihood for those trigger points. The second exercise that we're going to do specifically for the lower part of the trapezius muscle is Ys. And how you'll perform a Y is to lean forward, hinging at the hips. You're going to put your palms face up, and you're going to reach forward like you're doing the YMCA dance. And you're going to hold this for 6 seconds. And you should be feeling this tension at the base of your shoulder blades down into your spine, because now not only are we working on those lower traps, but we're also working on the muscles that extend your thoracic spine. So if you're sitting all day at a desk like this, we're working to straighten that spine. And reasonably, a lot of you, even if you understand anatomy, are probably thinking, well then how the heck is this not coming from my neck? All the nerves that go into my arm come from my brachial plexus, the nerves that leave my neck. So how can problems in my mid-back muscles cause these issues? Buckle up, nerds, because the nerves that innervate the muscles in your upper extremity, or the myotones, the muscle innervations, aren't the same as the dermatones, the innervations for the upper extremity skin sensation. And so, while a myotome might be left unaffected because you don't have a disc protrusion, you can still have a trigger point in your traps, your rotator cuff muscles, or your scalenes, which put pressure on nerves that then go down and innervate the skin, and then it gives you this sensation of pins and needles, despite not coming directly out of your neck. Well then, Dr. Beck, if it's not necessarily coming from my neck, what else can I do to help fix this numbness? Because it's waking me up at night and driving me crazy. Here's where I have some bad news and some more bad news, because it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to be really expensive. The good news is that lot of time is going to be spent while you're sleeping, and the really expensive thing is going to be a towel. First thing you're going to try with the towel is rolling it up as such, just so it's going to fit in the divot left between the bed and your neck. And you're just going to stuff it in there so that your head isn't lifted up, but it's also not jutting up your chin. And that should look something like this. And this is the nice thing about a towel, because while it's not the sturdiest thing, it gives you just enough support that it's not going to force your head into extension, but it also shouldn't push your head up into a chin retraction. And this will give you just enough support so that while you sleep, that curve in your cervical spine is maintained and that disc isn't agitated and we aren't forming any trigger points from overstretched muscles. But if you're extra wealthy and you have 2 towels, you can also try another experiment to see if this pain isn't coming from your mid-back. So with a towel, I'm not going to lie, this doesn't offer as much mechanical support as it does for your neck, because your mid-back is way heavier than your neck is. So ideally what you'll want to do is try to find something a little bit sturdier, maybe trying a pool noodle or something along those lines. But what you can do just to demonstrate is we're going to take this towel, we're going to roll it up, and we're going to place it between our shoulder blades. And what this will do is it'll push your shoulders back, it'll push your chest out, and it'll retract your shoulder blades like we're doing during those wall angels and also during those Ys. And essentially what we'll be doing is we're going to stretch out those pectoral muscles, and we're going to be shortening your lower traps so that they're more in a position that's beneficial for your ergonomics, having a straighter mid-back rather than being hunched over whenever you're at your desk. And look, I get it. It is a huge financial investment to get 2 towels. So, try one each night. Go one night where you're putting that towel behind your neck to see if that doesn't help reduce the numbness, Or that second night, roll it up and put it between your shoulder blades and see if that doesn't help alleviate your symptoms. Because if either one helps, that lets you know that maybe this isn't really coming from exclusively a disc bulge or herniation or arthritis, it's just structural. And if it's something we can correct for the 8 hours you're asleep, then that will help to alleviate the stress by reducing the amount of time you're spent in a compromised position. But now with all of this information, what comes next? What are you expected to do over the next couple days, weeks, months to make sure that your hand numbness goes away? Most importantly, what I tell all of my patients is consider how long you've had this problem. If you've had it for 3 months, it might take just as long to completely alleviate those symptoms. If those nerves have been irritated for an extended period of time, they're gonna need time to relax. So keep that in mind before you completely write this off and you think, well, I did it for a night and it's still bothering me. If it's slowly getting better, it's a good sign you can make drastic improvement if you just stick with the exercises, the towel rolls, whatever it is that gets you relief. Second, if you found any information in this video useful, share it with a friend who might also benefit. Because while I don't feel anything I go over is particularly groundbreaking, I'm always surprised by how few people know any of these tricks to try. And especially if it's somebody that you care about, you might just be saving them from undertaking an unnecessary surgery. You thought friendship bracelets were cool? Saving someone from surgery is cool. And with that, guys, I'm Dr. Beck. Don't forget to check out the rest of the channel because there might be more information in there that you'll find useful to help with your arm numbness or neck pain. And until next time, I hope this channel and this video help you to make the most of your one life.